After weeks of grueling matches, only 2 teams remain. This final match decides who walks away a champion. Welcome to the Redemption League Grand Finals.
And here we are now today, showing you a nice little overhead view of Phobos City. I am Xenaero, and joining me today is a very special guest, in fact, Kaapeli47, author of at least one excellent Xenaero mod, and he is also recently casted for a Diabolical Championship. Welcome to the stream, Kaapeli.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here. Indeed, I have mostly commentated arena FPS games and only one CTF game, in fact, of Doom. And now everybody can start laughing at me because I know it will be so much different compared to like any other arena FPS.
Oh, well, there'll be no laughing here, friend, because everybody's on the edge of their seat, looking forward to the grand finals matchup between the undefeated Frag Yourself and their challengers, No Lucks Given. For those who are unfamiliar with our format, take a gander at the summary and rules overlay that you see on your screen. Red and blue in a 3 vs 3 capture flag matchup. Teams can field any 3 players from their roster of 4 people. Rounds are to either 10 minutes or 5 flag captures, whichever happens first. And the map rotation is a little bit different in the playoffs. Rounds 1 and 2 are on the home field for the defending team, Frag Yourself. Map 68, which is Jake Stupid You Right base, which we saw in week 1. And then rounds 3 and 4 will go to No Lucks Given home field, Mephitic Waste, which we saw a little bit earlier in the playoffs during the semifinals. If we don't have a winner by then rounds will alternate from map 68 to map 14 until we get a team with 3 wins. It's not a best of 5, it's a first 2-3. You'll be able to keep track of the rounds 1 in the upper right, and the flag counter for the round that we're watching now will be in the lower left as part of the built-in Doom HUD. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about the matches that happened during the semifinals. First up, the semifinals matchup between Frag Yourself and the Walking Toilets, in which Frag Yourself sent the Toilets home, well, walking home rather. Between Poto, Disparel, and Denizoa for Frag Yourself, and then Tiger, Warrior, and Dastin for TWT. Stahl also played for Disparel in round 3. It's the only roster switch we had during that semifinals game. And FU defeated TWT. Round 1, 5-2. Round 2, 5-1. And then round 3 was 5-2. So TWT did take some flags off of Frag Yourself, but it was unable to take a round away from the current undefeated team. Frag counts are a little bit... There's some disparity there. Round 1 saw 180 frags for Frag Yourself compared to 134 for TWT. Round 2 saw 106 versus 79. And then round 3, we had 131 against 105. So Frag Yourself was definitely heavier on power. Poto walked away with 10 flag captures total. Denizoa with 161 frags total. And a shout out to TWT for a great run in the debut season of Redemption. TWT was an unlikely playoff contender. Their late season, well, I mean, they really rallied in the late season, is what I mean to say. It guaranteed them a slot against the undefeated team, but unfortunately they're going home. But shout out to them for a exciting week 4. Now, the other semifinal matchup, No Lucks Given versus the Net Boys. We were able to broadcast that one live, and that was quite a a hell of a game, with flags flying off the pedestals. But No Lucks Given was the victor in a 3-1 against DNB. Amar, Legion, and Ross King played for NLG, while Wiz, Infer, and Ed played for DNB. There were no roster changes between any of the 4 rounds. Round 1 was 1 flag for NLG with 5 flags for DNB, really setting the tone against their opponent. But that was the only round they won, as NLG then came back to win 5-2, 5-1, and 5-3. And frags were pretty close. Round 1 was 58-78, a very low fragging round. because the round was over in pretty much 4 minutes. Round 2 was 134 to 129. Round 3, 65 to 53, and round 4, 159 to 163. Both teams pretty on par with each other. Amar from NLG had 11 flag captures, Ed with 151 frags, and props to DNB for a pretty riveting opening in their playoff game, making NLG sit up straight. With this, NLG moves on to stand against an opponent who has not even suffered a round loss. Ready or not, the grand finals are here. Ooh, let's take a look at the teams again. All right, so between the teams that we have here showing on the screen, Poto, Stahl, Disparel, Dingzoa. Let's see. I'm looking at all 4 members of FU are in a server ready to go. And we did see Ross King, Amar, and Legion in a practice server earlier. Kaapeli, do you have anything to say about these 2 teams?
Well, mostly I've just seen these people in just community matches and just public matches. I really haven't seen. I think the only person I've seen in CTF was Rose King, maybe even Disparel. Those are the only 2. But that's about it. I really can't say much of their skill because I haven't really watched enough of them in Capture the Flag. But all of these are familiar faces elsewhere.
Yeah, these are all veteran players. Pretty much every name on the screen is a veteran player of Doom 2 competitive caliber. And let's jump into a server and take a look around at least one of the maps. Let's see here if I can get Sandro to cooperate.
Should we join? Is it the FU party or?
Yeah, we're going to join that one. I'm pretty sure that's where the game's going to happen.
Blue flag taken.
And we're going to be looking at map 14, which will be rounds 3 and 4, if you remember. That if we get to round 4, we could be looking at a 3-0 finals. Who knows? How strong is Frag Yourself going to be? And how much resistance will NLG put up? I mean, the only team without even a round loss will be FU. And we'll be watching them pretty closely. But map 14 is a... If you've watched any competitive streams of Capture the Flag in the past, you will recognize this map. It's while pretty tight in terms of spacing between the 2 bases, there is a Mega Armor that spawns where the camera's pointing, drops incoming damage by 50%. But what you'll be really looking forward to is players to grab the flag and try to rocket jump up here. From here, you can make this jump right across there. As long as you don't touch that grate, players can jump across mid. They are exposed from below, but they should be able to, with cover from their team, make a flag in, geez, I don't even know how long it takes them. Probably less than 5 seconds. Going end to end like that. We just saw a player rocket up there. But you do lose a lot of health doing that.
That's probably where the Mega Armor can come in handy, but you need to be very careful of the enemy just like expecting you at the Mega Armor and doing the rocket jump afterwards, because you have that armor and you are resistant to that damage, so everybody will try to hunt you down and put you as low as possible so you can at least either kill yourself with the rocket or get killed by the million SSGs that will come after you.
Exactly. This is going to be a power item, and it's going to be just like Quake, just like Diabolical. You're familiar with those items. They are going to be highly coveted, but this item, we didn't see players go for it as much as we thought in the semifinals. This item is a bit farther out. It'll take you out of a natural path to the enemy base or to help your carrier. So it remains to be seen how pivotal that will be. Will it be more common to see a runner come into the base and try to rock jump out with just health?
5-minute warning.
Time will tell. We're almost at game time. Got a few minutes left.
And... I already see them practicing the rocket jump with just the health, and I'm gonna see a few like suicide obituaries. So getting that rocket jump on just enough range so you don't get yourself killed, but just enough range inside as well so you get enough boost is going to be difficult if you don't grab that armor or any extra health.
Absolutely. That armor will help tremendously, but so will some coverage from your team going into the base. You're going to want to avoid any sort of incoming damage as the runner if you're going to get a little tricksy like that. If you haven't seen this map before, it may not be too obvious that this right here is a lift. So you can lower that as well as it serves as a platform above. So definitely not the first time we've seen a carrier take the lifts across mid, but you are spending so much time in the open air exposed to enemy fire.
That's what I did when I played this the first time in public games, this map, and I really didn't realize that was a lift. I just, like the entire map being like mostly brown, I just thought that was just another wall, but you can indeed lower that.
Yep, you can definitely lower that. You can manipulate those walls, but that's about it. There are no other doors or lifts to speak of. Actually, I'm wrong. I completely forgot about this lift right here, right before the flag, which we have. Oh, yeah. We've seen players lower that, but jump at the same time, and which will put them up on the podium. If you time it just right, you can lift jump up to that flag, and we've seen a couple players fail that and get stuck, and then the flag's returned. So there is risk, there is reward, and then there's Frag Yourself. They're in the server. NLG is starting to pour in. I see Rosking, I see Amar. I don't see Legion yet. But players are starting to file in. Should be a pretty exciting finals. Again, it is first to 3 wins. It will not be a best of 5. A little bit different than what you typically see in a tournament. In fact, I believe Redemption is the first league to employ that rule set.
Blue flag return.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm pretty used to like best of 5 finals already, or even best of 3 grand final games in arena FPS tournaments. But yeah, best of 5s aren't that uncommon.
No. The best of series usually pretty common, but we could potentially see many rounds if both teams hold on and their stamina proves to, I mean, we're talking a good 30 minutes plus of fast-paced Doom CTF. So who's going to crack first?
Blue team scores.
We're looking at game time. Teams are looking like they're ready to go. And so are we.
Here we are.
Oh, and there we go. We were talking about the rocket jump. We saw a live view of that from Rosting, a little demonstration. And it's a tricky jump to make. And it takes off a lot of health. We can't see health values currently, but you can tell what kind of armor they have, if they have any armor at all, in the lower left part of your screen. If you see that armor icon, they got armor. But you can reasonably expect to have 50 health or so taken off your total with a rocket jump, depending on the angle. It's tough, especially when you're being shot at.
1 minute warning.
Yeah, if you've got somebody waiting in the middle, they can just easily snipe with an SSG there, because you are low enough health for even like a mid-range shot for an SSG to kill you, and that health and even the armor definitely in the center will help you prevent that surprise, or at least a little bit.
Oh, for sure. And incoming damage is going to be an important factor when you're trying to rock jump, but also what are you going to do when you get, you get hit with a meat shot? What are your options then? Is your team going to be able to bail you out, or are they going to be able to pick up the flag and carry it back home? Just waiting for players to demo, and then we'll get underway with the first round of the grand finals. And Kaapeli will be providing a little bit of color commentary.
Yeah, given that I have no experience in CTF, it's going to be
relax.
pretty much that.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Capture flag is the same everywhere.
I must say, like I already told Zen before we started this, that I'm just constantly afraid that I would instinctively just like commentate whatever is happening on the player screen, because that's what I do in every arena FPS tournament. Get to stream and commentate. But Doom is so fast.
I thought we were underway, but I guess we're not yet?
Oh,
Players
not
are
yet.
sitting there and... Oh. It appears so.
Blue team scores.
Thing with like arena FPS tournaments that I commented, if I already sound an auctioneer in those, I can't believe what I would sound like if I just constantly commentated somebody's view and just whatever was happening on that.
Yeah, that's why we kind of pick and choose sometimes. Doom is fast, and the players are even faster. There have been times where we can't even call the flag runs quick enough. And I believe that we are now doing a call vote to kick off first map, which will be on the week 1 map. Round 1 will be coming at you live from the Redemption Broadcast Studios. And teams are off. We're going to start spectating Ross King until we get a touch, in this case Legion. Flags return pretty quickly. FU is holding the line. And we do see a route being taken outside, and there is a rocky cliff that you can take into an upper window overlooking the flag. It's a very common route for it. Apparently very well expected by Dengzoa, who is defending the red flag very well. Sparrow has the flag, gets one, covered by the rest of his team, and it is going back, and he barely gets across to score. First blood taken. Oh, little hop from Sparrow there.
I was watching Polto's view, and they were going on a bit of a massacre there, but still managed to get the enemy through the flag.
Absolutely. Poto is a very strong player and is helping his team tremendously as well. I mean, 2-0 already. We're not even 2 minutes into the first round. So Frag Urself is coming out swinging. It is their own home field map, so that is to be expected. But they are also undefeated, so if NLG wants to set the momentum, they have to take one home field round away from FU.
Dengzoa having pretty good defense here.
Dengzoa appears to be playing for... Dengzoa is definitely playing defense for FU, but for NLG, oh, nice telefrag from Legion. Almost gets across that threshold and into hard cover, but is returned by FU. Legion is getting to the edges of the base, but he needs to be able to get out and covered by his teammates. He doubles back and opts for a duel, loses that, and it gets returned. Ross King now with the flag out, grabs the mega armor. That's great for a carrier, but he's going to have to try to survive while his team hunts down Poto to return the flag. And that does happen. Gets one, needs two, and is not able to get back to the podium in time. Flags returned and picked up by Disparrow. Nice little hop from Disparrow there. He's known as a very technical player. That little... and I believe it was picked up and then escorted the rest of the way to the red podium.
Flag taken. Red flag returns.
Things have cooled down a little bit. NLG's defense is picking up, but they are still down by 3 flags. They need to get some points on the board.
That defense by Dengzoa is just pretty much impenetrable. His, I was gonna say accuracy with the SSG is good, but like you don't. Well, I mean, many people might just think that you don't need much accuracy with the SSG, but you'd be surprised. The range is especially what matters, and Dengzoa is doing quite good damage, sort of mid-range even with the SSG, getting them with single blasts. And now he's finally fallen.
Right now, Dengzoa with 24 frags. Poto has 34. And looks like Ross King almost got across with that flag. And Despero's on his way out. Drops one carry, but it gets picked up by Omar.
Red flag taken.
Flag's changing hands again. Good save by Legion to keep the flag alive. And it does get returned, but Legion's in the enemy base. I'm not sure if FU is even aware that Legion is in their base. Well, they definitely have eyes on him now as he puts himself in position to get blasted from multiple angles. Now Ross King and Poto are in a standoff. Ross King eats a rocket, but it is a mutual return. But not for long. Despero with a great pickup and rocket jump out, but gets caught on some geometry and the flag's returned. It is Kaapeli. We're looking at some flags that are not staying at the podium very long.
It seems so. I was looking at Amar trying to probably get the rocket launcher through the grating there. You can pick it up through the fence. You can see it.
Yeah, if you drop the flag right up against a line def, even if it's blocking, that collision box can clip through.
That's what I was trying to do.
We've seen people kind of be a little tricksy with it before. Despero helps cover himself there, and the opponent was not able to return the flag in time. 4-0 in the first round of the finals. FU looking very strong. NLG not with a point on the board as of yet.
Poto going in with an ultra kill already. That is one hell of a killing spree.
Poto laying down a lot of covering fire for his team. And Legion's in trouble. Gets hunted down by a player in his own flag room. And Despero almost able to get that rocket jump off, but took too much damage in the meantime.
Red flag dropped.
It looks like Despero was trying to get that window jump, which I didn't. Can you make that from the edge of the backstop of the flag?
I don't know. I guess if you have the mega armor and you survive like a full blast, point blank blast, you might actually make that.
It's possible. Despero is known for having some speedrunner tricks under his belt.
Oh, there's somebody behind the blue team's lift, constantly on the watch. Whoever getting the flag, Despero got fragged, I think, twice.
Ooh, and the flag gets returned, and Poto gets the guy coming in through the window, and it is first round. It's going to go to FU. Great job from them on the first round on their own home field. That's the kind of game that they need to have. Poto with 79 frags. It's ridiculous. That is incredible strength as we begin round two. If you gotta shut down FU, you gotta shut down Poto.
And then following not too close, but with 44 frags. That was an excellent looking defense he put out there.
Yeah, incredible work from Frag Urself to kick off this, well, I almost want to say best of 5, but it's actually a first of 3. I don't think they know that Despero was up there, but he was able to get one kill off before dropped by the other guy.
Blue flag taken. Red flag taken.
We have a question. What's the difference between a best of 5 and a first of 3? Well, the match doesn't end after 5 rounds. We go until one team has 3 wins. That's the rules that were set up by the commissioners, and they did clarify that before the semifinals started.
So there's potential to be more than 5 rounds.
Yeah, plenty of potential. But that potential is going to be, I mean, NLG is going to have to start fighting back here in the second round. They need to start putting some damage up if they're going to unseat Poto and get their carrier across. And say no more. The first score for NLG is the first score for round 2.
Yeah. at least got through Poto once. They even got through Densoa once, so that he couldn't retaliate too well in defense. And seeing the spawns that I saw Densoa get, it was pretty close to the base, but he could still chase the flag carrier down pretty fast and then just continue his job. Defense.
And not only that, on maps like this where you have that are they're so packed in, they're so tight. Sometimes all you need is one frag on a defender, and then you burn them. But there's still 2 other players to worry about too. So, and each of these players are so strong on their own. It's a pretty tall order for a carrier to get through 3 players straight.
Got one player going around with a chain gun as well.
Yeah, a little bit of chain gun work there, which, you know, pepper him a little bit, do a little damage. It can prevent a rocket jump.
Flag taken. Red flag taken. Red flag
Legion almost made it through that teleporter with the flag.
taken.
Things have definitely cooled down compared to the first round with only 1 score between both teams.
Red flag taken.
But it seems like there are a great deal of touches happening with NLG on FU's flag, but not so much. I'm not seeing a whole lot of action happening with the blue side. They seem to be neutralizing carriers pretty quickly. We're gonna watch one such carrier, Desperal, who gets intercepted and the flag is returned. Not a moment too soon either.
Red flag taken. Blue flag returned.
Legion now with the flag. Doesn't get the one shot, but it might get picked up. It does get picked up by Ross, but just having a second out in the open, a delay can make all the difference for the enemy team to swarm you.
Flag taken.
Yeah, NLG, they've been paving the way very nicely, and they got 1 capture for it. They just need to put more of those
Red flag taken.
waves that they
Returns.
paved for themselves into more captures. They've gotten into the enemy base several times.
That is half the battle. The other half is getting out alive.
Blue flag taken. Flag returned.
Legion goes for the green armor. And at the very least, it does deny the enemy team the ability to pick up that green armor. Which, while it reduces only 1/3 of incoming damage, it is pretty important to grab.
Flag taken.
Every little bit helps in a super shotgun joust. Frosting almost makes the cross, but Poto guns him down and returns the flag. Good defense from Poto. Let's switch around a little bit. Let's see who's playing defense for NLG. Is that Omar?
Flag taken.
Seems to be up between Legion and
Does appear to be.
Amar is on the base side.
Good defensive work from Amar there, just crushing opponent after opponent who comes into the base. Good job. Keeping the flag home while the other 2 players work offense is the kind of format that works pretty well in most maps. Back to Poto, who has possession of the NLG flag, but 2 players, too much.
Flag taken.
Sparrow, he gets out the doorway, but no further. Legion up to the teleporter, can't get the one shot off.
Flag taken.
And he's picked up by Ross briefly, but he's already dead by the time we try to switch to him. Desperal looking for an opportunity out. And Omar finds him and returns that flag.
Flag taken.
No flag for you.
Flag taken. Red flag taken. Flag dropped. Red flag returned.
It seems if you are piercing more and more into the blue base,
Flag taken.
that they are having pretty much the same difficulty as what NLG is now having. They are just constantly getting fragged in the enemy base and can't do the other half, as you said.
Yeah, and yet we're only looking at 1 score for both teams. I mean,
Yeah.
how much different the pace for this game has been. Teams are adapting to each other and starting to coalesce better on defense.
Flag taken.
frag-wise, Poto's still, he's in the mid-70s. Ridiculous amount of frag power behind that man. On the other team, the equivalent would be Amar with 56 frags, but even with the additional frag power, FU is unable to take control away in round 2.
Flag taken.
Oh, overshot that rocket jump, Ross King, and he hit the ceiling, and it did not end well for him. So,
Flag taken.
happens every once in a while.
Blue flag taken.
Rocket jumps are,
Red flag taken.
they're deceptively, they look much easier to pull off than they actually are.
Flag returns. Flag drops. Blue flag returns.
I think I switched to Disperal as soon as he got telefrag, which was kind of funny.
Blue flag drops. Flag returns. Blue flag taken. Red flag taken.
I think the rocket jumps in Doom there are just, not only is the rocket just so much delayed, like by 5 ticks I think, the thrust just, you never know where it just really puts you into.
Flag taken.
Ooh, Disperal's out clean. And he does get back into his base. He's like desperately waiting for the flag to get returned. And it looks like, oh, it gets returned!
Oh no!
It gets returned before his team can return the flag. It's, oh man, that's a rough one. Ross King is, oh, I think it got dropped inside the base. It did, and Amar picks it back up from the window and to the podium. 2-0 for NLG. There is life left in them yet. Less than 2 minutes remain in the second round. Taking a round off the opponent's home field would be pivotal for them, as they're looking at rounds 3 and potentially 4 on their own home field, map 14. And this, if this score holds, this would be FU's first round loss all season.
Red flag taken.
Is that something they're mentally prepared to deal with? Only time can tell. But imagine you get to the finals and the team you're up against takes their first round off you. How much would that hurt your confidence? Good shot from Disperal. It got returned, but Ross King is waiting in the base and intercepts the carrier. A risky game to play, but it paid off. Camping the enemy carrier without grabbing their flag, that's a tough thing to do. Disperal, however, is able to get across and puts the first score on the board for FU.
Hey, there we go.
Well, we're going to watch Poto because, oh, he gets dropped, it's returned. Both flags were put back at the podium. Less than 30 seconds in, very limited amount of runs are possible now with the time left. Legion is across, but the flag is not home.
Blue flag
Oh my god, he was waiting for the flag to get returned and it didn't happen. He was dancing on the podium with 2 enemies. But Legion has one more attempt. He can make it in that time, but only barely. And no team will be able to score from this point forward. NLG is taking round 2.
Wow.
That is exciting. We're looking at what happened. Did the player just... Oh, Dengzoa sat. Dengzoa is spectating. And we're watching Stall. So Stallion came in for Dengzoa for round 3 as we get started on map 14, Mephitic Waste, which is NLG's home field. So if you're going to look for a team to excel, it will be NLG here. Legion is clear and across, picks it back up for his team, and scores at 1-0 in the opening minute of round 3. Sparrow has an answer. Nope. Not today. Come on, Disperal. Do that rocket jump we all love to see. Gets 1, but there's 2 enemies in his own base. It gets returned. And it looks like Amar... Oh, Poto's across. He grabbed Mega Armor, and he is there. Does the lift jump. And easy as pie. Poto makes it look effortless. 1-1 in round 3.
That was less than 3 seconds from the enemy base to your base and the capture.
Was that under 3 seconds? Whew. You love to see
I think so, yeah. I saw the capture. pretty much counted in my head as soon as I saw the rocket jump.
Oh my goodness! And there's a relay happening in the red base, but eventually they ran out of people to pick up the flag and escort it home. Flag does get returned. Disparel drops down and might score this, and he does. Now it's now 2-1. Kind of trading blows on each other's home field here. They're ahead by only 1 flag though, and that can change. That can change incredibly quickly on a map like this.
Yeah, it seems Stål is still the defender of FU, and Denso and Stål basically switched seats.
Amar looked like he was going to try to go for that mega armor. Legion is out across mid, but the flag has to get returned for him to score. He's got 1 incoming, and it gets returned by Poto, while Disparel just eats that shot, but it's not enough to drop him. It's now 3-1 in favor of FU. So while FU had their first round ever taken from them, they are proving they can fight on another map as well. But there's still plenty of time on the clock. 7 minutes left. And Disparel opts to not do anything but try to move into the enemy player. But he picks it back up on the lower side and scores it.
Wow.
Good work from Disparel on the first round on the enemy's home field. It's looking like FU is definitely not out of the running yet. Oh, and a last-second return from Poto, descending from the sky, and picks the flag back up as well. But there's definitely a high potential for the flag to get chained. It did not, but the Sparrow is already across anyways. That's how quick this map can move. And whoa! Oh, and it's returned last second. What a great! That was a hell of a return. It keeps the game alive for just a little bit longer. Poto is across. I think the flag did get dropped at mid. No, it got dropped above. And that's all that was needed.
I don't know who that was on the blue team that got blocked by Disparel's rocket blast there, just trying to rocket jump at him. But that was, and Disparel's capture was so close there, but in the end they made it.
Well, now we're looking at championship point in favor of Frag Yourself. We're on round 4. If they win this, they win it all. They go home the winners of Season 1 of Redemption League. So pressure's on. Is NLG going to crumble, or are they going to take another round back and force it to round 5? Oof.
Blue flag taken. Red flag taken. Red flag returned.
Poto currently has the flag. He's trying to jump across, but there's a lot of danger out there.
Red flag taken. Blue flag
It does get dropped up top. Both flags are back. And we did not see Stall sit for Denzoa, so Denzoa still remains on the bench.
I just saw Amar jump for the mega armor, but he missed it.
Oh, it's a tough jump to make. Tough jump to make under pressure.
Like he landed on the pillar, but he just missed the armor itself.
Oh, he landed on the pillar, but
yeah.
You gotta touch the armor. Looks like Poto has it this time, and grabs the rocket launcher and kind of doubles back. He's going to try to rocket jump from his side. Can he make it back? Oh, looks like they are wise to his tricks. Definitely took a good chunk of damage from behind him, and the mega armor is now out of play. Be about 30 seconds until we see it again. 20 probably, more like.
I don't know if it's 30 or 25.
It's 30 from the point you pick it up.
Right.
Oh, the flag is in. The red flag is in the enemy base, and both flags are returned before we can really see what's going on in mid. 2 minutes in, no captures. think teams are really afraid to give anything up at this point.
It's pretty much like the second round of the previous map as well. We saw like heavy retaliation by the by NLG, who in fact lost the first round as well, and now they are just putting their A game up again.
Yeah, it turns out you don't really want to overextend once you get punched in the face. Not a whole lot. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Amar watching the lifts quite carefully every time. He's hearing the lift, and yeah, you have nowhere to go there once you're trying to wait.
That's true. You're kind of there as a sentry and not much else. But if you're Amar, then you're aware that Poto is making rocket jumps from his side of the map to try to get to your flag. So always good to watch those lifts, because that direction is, you might see an enemy come flying through the air.
Blue flag taken. Red flag taken.
Poto with a flag. Oh, tries to go for a rocket jump, but takes too much damage right before he pulls the trigger, and the flag's returned for red as well. Ross King with a gets up there, but now they know exactly where he is. He takes one, he jumps across, but the flag has to get returned. He's under a lot of pressure. And what a great shot from Ross King. Finds the enemy, takes him out, and he secures the flag. 1-0 now for NLG. Now it's mayhem in the blue base. Everyone's out of position, and you would think that after a volley like that, they would be most vulnerable. Ross King getting fragged by just non-stop spawn fragged.
There's a real massacre on blue side. I think there are like 5 people on the blue list.
Yeah, in the moments of a flag getting captured after an extended duration the carrier has it, it's like you see all the players in one small part of the map for sure. The Sparrow takes a wide angle out there into the acid, and Ross King jumps across. If they can return that flag, big if. Ross King intercepts an enemy coming to get him, and great work from both Amar and Ross to secure the second flag for NLG, and preventing a rebound on top of that. There is still life left in them. Poto is across. Ooh, but he stops there, and Ross King finds him at the lift and returns the flag. The Sparrow now with the flag across, and might get the score. He does. Player below him missed the one shot, and Poto, the back-to-back score. It's now tied. About as fast as you can blink. The match is now tied back up. But Ross, ooh, it's picked up and ferried the rest of the way by Amar. Ross got it most of the way there, but Amar took it that pivotal final distance. 3-2 now. Just under 5 minutes left. This map produces some wild games.
Yeah, there was like 3 captures there in barely over 20 seconds.
Blue flag taken.
Just in this entire game, and yeah, FU got those 2 captures inside that time.
Oh, Legion has a boomstick behind him. It doesn't get picked up, but there is an enemy outside the base. It's Poto, and he does get it all the way across 3-3. This Sparrow, meanwhile, was waiting at the podium. What's he doing with the rocket launcher here? Oh, the entire enemy team's way down mid. One rocket and then a super shotgun blast clears it. And he's able to also return it and score. What a great vantage point we had there to watch the Sparrow work magic. 4-3 in favor of FU. One more score and they win. Legion unable to get across mid. Ross King waiting. Unable to get the one shot. It's do or die for NLG.
Flag taken. Red flag dropped.
And we're watching Poto, who gets camped from below by Amar. The Sparrow, eyes on the Sparrow as he doubles back, gets rid of the guy behind him, and he's in the base. But Legion returns it after being on the lift, waiting for it to go up.
Red flag taken. Red flag returned.
Keeping the game alive. Little lift jump from Desperal. He does seem to get away from one. No, not so much. Not so fast.
Red flag taken. Flag returned.
And seems like both teams have stopped the bleeding of flags for the time being. So who's going to crack first?
Returned.
NLG absolutely must get the score.
Red flag returned.
Because if they don't, if time limit expires and FU has the advantage in the flag count, that'll be game over. And that's 4-4. We're at sudden death. One team will be able to push it to round 5, but the other team can close it out. Or the third option, we get a tie and we get a round 5 anyway. But NLG's absolutely going to want to control the momentum going into the 5th round. They want to score rather than a tie.
Yeah, Stoll is not giving that red base out to.
Photo's out. Ooh, returned by Amar. Good shot from him. Legion unable to get the shot off in time. Blue armor is up.
Oh, that rocket on Stoll.
Ooh.
He was defending in the base and he just ran downstairs into, I think that was Desperal's rocket, yeah.
Oh, and NLG almost gets the flag across, but too many players from FU watching, and ooh, Desperal unable to hold on to the flag. Poto has the flag currently, staring at 2 enemy players, and is dropped. Poto jumps across, great jump from him there, and takes too much damage. 1 minute left.
Oh, Lord.
In which case, if we don't see a score, we will be seeing a round 5 regardless, but the score count will remain at 2-1. And returned by Ross King, keeping the game still up in the air. Desperal unable to get a rocket jump. Teams are paying attention to the flag carriers now. And Poto scores the last flag.
Oh.
Poto was able to get
25
assisted there
seconds
by the end. At the end there, he was escorted by 1 player, and that was all that it took, ending it with 81 frags. And oh my God, what a finals! Your champions for the Redemption League Season 1 are going to be Frag Yourself. That is going to be a 3-1. Congratulations to them. And wow, that was a hell of a game.
Yeah, congrats indeed. What absolutely, like, that last round was pretty even towards the last minute. It was 25 seconds remaining until Poto had it finished. And if you, in general, you said that their only round loss was in this final.
Yep. Their only round loss was against the team. No Lux Given, Amar, Rosting, and Legion were able to take a round off of Frag Yourself, but they were not able to take the game away from them. So we will be waving goodbye to one of our finalists today, and we'll be congratulating Frag Yourself on a season well played, a season hard fought, and a win well deserved. Thank you everybody for coming out on this lovely Wednesday. Kind of an inopportune time for most people in the Americas anyways, but you know, we try to get the game done when we can, and it is our pleasure to broadcast the grand finals of the Redemption League. And I want to extend a thank you to Kaapeli, who I usually don't drag onto a CTF stream, but this is how you start, baby.
Oh yeah, it begins like it began with Quake and every other FPS. It was thrilling. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely, and it may not be the last you hear of Kaapeli47 either, but thank you especially to the viewers at home for coming out and catching this game. If you missed the first part of this game, don't worry, this will be going up on the YouTube channel in the playlist we have made for the Redemption League. But that'll be all. We'll play you out, and thank you once again, and stay tuned for any events in the future. Have a good one, everybody.